Hi, friends of Autism, and welcome to another transmission for our organization, Boston Coalition for Autism. We are here at the mall, Natick Mall, at the doors of one of our sister organizations, the Autism Alliance of Metro West Autism Alliance, or Autism Alliance of Metro West. Uh, this organization has some offices here. They just closed now. It's about 5 o'clock. So they have a welcoming center for some people who wants to take a break. This is a very good corner to um, have some sensory overload. There's discharge over there. Some parents use it as a calming center too. And also one of the functions of Autism Alliance is to certify business that we see here, like a Newberry Comics. Down there you see the sign. We're gonna approach the Build-A-Bear sign, which is more visible. And they have certifying different business today. Well, not today, but during the time that I've been here, it's over a year. And the mall welcomed this organization. The organization of the mall are very, very kind with the Autism Alliance. I'm part of the organization, the advisory board member, and we know all the benefits of being here and have a location, physical location for families and people with autism. But today, we're here at the mall. The weather is allowing a lot of people coming today. That's, that's okay, don't worry. It's people, they want to take advantage of the good weather today. It's around 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So people comes to see. But today we have a very good and interesting conversation with you guys. We're gonna do some numbers in autism because autism requires more knowledge of the people, and we are here to present some of these numbers because by analyzing these numbers, we have to set some percentage of the population that are being in the spectrum. So, and we have some division by race, ethnicity, or different social groups. So all major divisions of the world where autism can be measurable and produce some information, we try to make something out of those numbers. So it's very important and complex situation that we are asking right now, what are the numbers on autism right now? So we have different points of view and different numbers that we can present. Because autism is not biological, distributed by race or ethnicity. It's a meaningful genetic way that we can measure during diagnosis rates, which are heavily influenced by many factors, such as access to healthcare, cultural awareness, diagnosis bias, educational systems, and socioeconomic status. Those are some very important factors. Obviously, the multifactorial events occur for a diagnosis before that occurs. So you will hear about some measured diagnosis differences, but not true biological differences, because that's another whole video talking about biology and autism. So, but we have a global baseline, like the big picture. Let's get some privacy for some people. So the global baseline is around 1 in 100, around 1 in 100 or 1 in 127 people globally. That's a standard for different countries that have numbers, and there are these numbers 1 in 100 to 1 in 127 are estimated to be autistic, which is the general population of the world is 0.8% to 1% of the population. I mean, so we consider all the inhabitants of the world is over 7,000 millions, and hopefully I'm not wrong with this number about the total population of the world. But um, this is 1% of the population of the world. That's a huge number. So in high diagnosis countries like the United States, where we are right now, is one about 31 children, which reflects on 3.2% of the total population in the United States. Population in the United States is over 320 some millions. So that's a huge number. Yeah. So there's a huge gap that tell us the numbers between the world and the United States, because autism is underdiagnosed globally, especially outside of wealthy countries. And the United States has a lot of resources to um, find these numbers, and because all these numbers affect the general mental health of the population of the United States, and that's why the governments invest in that. But some other governments had other priorities to invest in something else, and that's why we are seeing these more numbers here. So the we have a division between race and ethnicity in the United States. This is the best available data. So the recent data show us a major shift, because like the current prevalence, obviously this is an approximation. It's Asian Pacific Islander 3.8%, Black African American 3.6, Hispanic Latino 3.3, and White 2.7, and multiracial 3.1. This is based on the total population of inhabitants of the United States, over 323 million people. So we have to all these numbers to see this total number historically. So this is 3, 6, 9, 10, okay, 15% of these numbers are the division that we can see over this. But like I said, it's 3.2% of the total population. But this is very important historically, because before 2015, white children had the highest diagnosis. So I remember it was like probably 80% Hispanic, 15% or over black, 2% was uh, Asian, and 1% was Native American. That's before 2000, but those are the numbers that I remember, and the rest of it that was white people. So it was over 50%, 60% white people in the diagnosis. Now you see how it changed a lot. So it's only 3% of the white people on the spectrum. And there's a lot of information that produce these numbers. Let me just let some people walk because they are disturbing our car. Well, they are talking, not disturbing intentionally. Sorry. But now minority groups, they show equal or higher rates among white people in the United States. So the interpretation does not mean that autism increase in minority. It means diagnosis access improve on this population. That's the way we have to see it, because previous people were undiagnosed, and now it's being corrected. So this is a part of information that we have in our database. So another database that uses a different way to measure it tell us a different numbers. Those are Hispanic, 3.44 Hispanic people. Black comes to 3.11. White, 2.77%, and Asian, 1.97. So in another ranking is other race, 3.9%, Black and multiracial 2.8, white 2.4, in Asian 1.65, and the indigenous is 1.5. So the variation across the study shows the measuring depends on heavily on methodology and access. This is something that we're going to discuss in a few minutes. Methodology and access. And distribution within autistic population in the United States. So among those diagnosed autistic children, show us another 51.7%, Hispanic 22.9%, Black 14.3, Asian 5.9, and multiracial 4.2. Those are specifically within the autistic people with diagnosis. So once again, this is only based on the autism people. The previous numbers we have over the general population. So, and that's what we have the white 51, Hispanic 20.29, sorry, 22.9, and Black 14, Asian 5.9, and multiracial 4.2. That gives us a total of 100% of people on the spectrum. And we have also the indigenous in these numbers is 0.7%, not even 1%. So this is the population, the reflection of the population, the size, and access. This is how much we could access to the information, but this is not the prevalence, the true prevalences. So thus, when we talk about numbers and the statistics are very complicated because there are ways to measure it. Some studies measured through the years, which is longitudinal. Some others use it a cohort, which is one specific group all the way until they grow up. They don't take any other measurements until they are like around 40. So that's a cohort. In some other studies, they take cross, lineal, and other ways of methodology to measure these numbers. So we have to be really careful when we hear the numbers, do the research, and interpret these numbers. A lot of these numbers come from the CDC, and other numbers come from different sources. But we have to be careful because there are other ways to measure it. And major social divisions beyond race too. That's another factor because it intervenes the socioeconomical status of SES, because lower income children, historical in their diagnosis, low income families are always the last to be measured or the last to be paid attention because obviously the access to resources. So now sometimes diagnosis later and with more severity. That's another factor that affects the low social income people. So the geographic and global disparities too, because there are high diagnosis in regions and the world. The United States is the number one and, as a region, followed by Canada, the United Kingdom, and Scandinavia. And low diagnosis in regions in Africa, Latin America, South Asia, and Middle East. And some of the few reasons are fewer specialists, stigma, which is very some of the reasons that we are fighting as an organization, and lack of a screening system or systems. But major social divisions beyond race, this is where the things get even more important because the socioeconomic status, the lower income children, historically, when we don't give the importance of they are there, but they are. So we have to work as globally on these numbers to have the real access to services. This is one of the goals, one of the main goals for autism to have this information is to provide services that are necessary there. So we know all this because in children in low-income household may be 1.8 times more likely to be diagnosed later, but with higher needs. So when somebody can go under the radar with low income, but when it's really manifested, is when the needs are greater than the control of the families. Is when the needs turns into a very, very important, um, how can I say, factor that has to do something with the life of these families and people. So you can see how much traffic is there to